Okay, I'm going to run you through the rigging of the valve module. The first thing to do is to put the consumable link in. The best way I've found to do that is to take your 10 to 15 centimeter piece of line, loop it through, and put 2 loose knots in it. The line's slippery enough that with these 2 knots you can adjust it to the proper size. So if you don't pull down on those, we can adjust it. What we're looking for is a 2.5 centimeter gap between them. So we need to pull it out a little bit more, right at about there. And then with that, you can pull everything tight, holding onto the loose ends, holding onto the V-clamp itself, and we end up just slightly oversized. Pull in on that a little bit. Perfect. Now, if you add a 3rd and 4th knots, it'll lock it in place. The nice thing about the V-clamp arrangement here is that it's always under tension with the zip tie on the back side of it. You can take 2 pairs of pliers or wrap it around a screwdriver or something just to pull that tight. And we're going to add a 4th knot just to be on the safe side. And lock that in place. Nothing fancy, but just a little bit of work. Double check the length. Yep, right at 2.5 centimeters. And now we can trim the excess. And if you're really concerned about it, you can put a drop of CA glue or something like that on it. At that point, we now have the link mostly assembled. We take the spindle with or without a balloon on it. We make sure that the valve poppet is down. We place that onto the top of the valve. I realize this is probably out of focus, I apologize. And now with the zip tie nubs down, we loop it around. And so that should give a reasonable bit there. And then we take a spare zip tie, we run it up, run it back down. This is really my least favorite part of this design. It's just holding everything in place until you get this secured. It is possible to put the zip tie on ahead of time and just leave it very loose. It's up to you. Once you start getting it, you don't have to tighten it all the way yet. You can take a pair of tweezers or something like that, move the knot out of the way, and make sure that this is centered over the burn wires. You don't want to do that once the zip tie is tight, because at that point now you're putting a lot of side load on the 2 burn wires. But at this point now we can tighten it down. A pair of pliers or a pair of cutters ensures that you get that reasonably tight. You can almost hear it strumming. And then I like to cut these flush just to make sure that they aren't sticking out. They are a little bit sharp, and it is possible to pop your balloon on them if you're not careful with them, which is another reason I like to put them down.